Hello everyone, welcome to the Infinite Ammo Syndicate episode for our top 10 predictions for E3. This is going to be edited a little differently. I'm Bane for you, and I'm editing this video. So I've kind of messaged a few people in the community and asked them, hey, can you send, sort of your predictions for E3 this year and what you think's going to happen?
Hello everyone, I am the Mortician, and today we're going to be looking at the games I want to see more of at E3 and related questions.
Hello, this is Shotro, and these are my E3 predictions. Now,
hello, my name is Renegade Operative. I am the co-host of the Infinite Ammo Syndicate, and I wanted to contribute to this recording of doing my E3 2018 predictions. Now, granted, remember that a lot of stuff that came out, take it with a grain of salt. There were a lot of leaks that came out, but overall, I'm going to break this down into 3 segments. I'm going to talk about my excitement for the stuff that has been leaked or has been confirmed, the stuff that I want to see, and rating the overall E3 2018 conferences.
Hey gamers, how's it going? Daybreaker Rain here, coming at you through your video scope with my contribution to an E3 predictions video.
What's up everybody, it's Mad Dog Mitch coming at you with my predictions and like the upcoming E3. What I'm expected to occur, what am I most excited about?
Hello everyone, it's Megan from Megan Page Gaming on YouTube.
Hey, what's up guys, Ninja Hitman here. Just here with my E3 2018 predictions.
And we're going to start off with number 10 and just go all the way to 1. Sometimes everybody's will kind of be a little separate, but it's all here. So prediction number 10 for me is going to be the Square Enix Avengers Project game. I think that it's going to be a really big highlight of their show. Honestly, it's intriguing. We're going to see if it's going to come out sometime soon, probably before Avengers 4 or after, kind of to swing on that hype train from the film. I hope we see it sooner rather than later, but I think this is a great opportunity for Square Enix to show it off, especially after Infinity War was really massive. So, yeah.
The games I would love to see more of in this year's E3 conference is Kingdom Hearts 3. I love this series to death and would love to see this upcoming game talked about thoroughly.
The games that I'm most excited about to learn more details about is Fallout 76 being the top of the line of that, as it is a game that just came out of the blue from Bethesda. I'm a big Fallout fan. I'm hoping we get a lot more details. Some leaks were already confirmed, not confirmed, you know the gist of it and such with leaks, so we're going to leave it at that.
Some of the stuff that I want to see a little bit more of that has been leaked so far. I'd like to see a little bit more Rage 2, seems kind of interesting. I never did play the first one, but I mean it's an interesting concept. I feel like it could be pretty cool. One of the reasons I don't like Borderlands is, the cartoony graphics, so it's kind of like that without those.
The first game we have here is Ghost of Tsushima. I really want to see more of this game. I actually stumbled on this game by accident, so I'm not sure how many people know about this game. Basically, it's a game about a guy who's living in 1274 Japan, and the Mongol Empire invades the island of Tsushima, wreaking havoc and conquering the population. He's the last surviving samurai. So basically, this guy is out for revenge. I'm hoping that it's going to be more of a ninja game than it is going to be a samurai game, but either way, I won't be disappointed. So I really want to see Sony and Sucker Punch come out and just blow me away, because there's only a trailer for it. It's not even a gameplay trailer. It's just a CGI thing to get you hyped for the game, and I'm hyped. I want to see more of this.
So let's begin with Devil May Cry 5. Devil May Cry 5 is something I've been waiting for since 2008. It's been a long journey since we seen Dante, not that fucking terrible emo twink Dante that's been in the Devil May Cry reboot. I'm talking about the real Dante. I'm talking about real hack and slash style action that is just ahead of the curve when it comes to what Insuno is envisioning for this franchise. I am really super excited to see what happens. I want to see all the resolutions. I want to see all the plot threads. I want to see what finally happens to Sparta. I want to see what happens when Nero embraces his demonic heritage. I want to see Virgil confirm or deny if Nero is his son, which we probably know that is coming into fruition rather quickly soon. I want to see everything culminate into one giant game, and I think that Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition was the great basis, the great blueprint to build off of Devil May Cry with multiple characters. I hope they keep that in mind to add infinite replay value to this game, and I cannot wait until we see something, hopefully.
I believe this year is going to be Battle Royale across the board for almost every single company out there, with the exception of maybe Nintendo, but they're going to announce Fortnite. We already know that. So there's going to be a Battle Royale on every system, so I'm going to do my predictions based on what game will be the Battle Royale for each company, and that's going to be my prediction for this year. So let's go through this. I am going to start with the company that I own a system for. Now, my son owns other systems, and, you know, my friends and family own other systems, so I do play other systems, but I have an Xbox One. So I'm going to start with Microsoft. Now, Microsoft has completely sucked for the last couple of years. Kind of am regretting buying the system at this point, but I do think that they could kind of turn things around, or at least, you know, put up a good show by focusing on what works. I think if they field an, you know, Forza game that makes some sense to people now, that's always going to be the case. I think they fielded Forza for every single E3 for the past several years, but I do think that they're going to bring about a new Gears of War, and I hope this one is, you know, open world. I think that's going to be another theme of this year, is open world for series that are typically not open world. I have an insane prediction for Crackdown 3. I think they're going to announce Halo 6. Now, I think it's too on the nose for Halo 6 to be the Battle Royale game of choice for Microsoft. And I think it would piss people off, make it irredeemable if they made Halo the Battle Royale game. I think they're going to follow on the aspects that they previously had and go more towards the Destiny route with Halo 6. You know, this extra development time that Halo 6 has had about Halo 4 and 5, that they're actually going to probably try and fix the problems that they've had and complete an actual campaign for once. And I hope that's the case, and I hope that they follow through on the hints at the end of Halo Wars 2 and improve and wrap up this trilogy before everyone leaves. So that's what I think is going to happen. Now on to some predictions on my behalf. I believe that Crackdown 3 will actually be retooled as Microsoft's Battle Royale game. And I believe that because I think, you know, we haven't seen it in a while. It would piss too many people off if Halo was moved in that direction. And so I think Crackdown 3 is their opportunity to create a Battle Royale and do something different. Crackdown 3 as a Battle Royale might be a unique experience to the Battle Royale arena and would be probably a smart move for Microsoft. That's kind of why I'm making this prediction, because I think being a superhero cop able to leap from building to building while destroying the entire city as a Battle Royale sounds like an amazing idea, and I would love to see that. Let's just see if that happens.
Yeah, a few. I've heard they don't make them like me anymore. There was this other guy, though. Army infiltration. He wore a bandana or something.
I heard he finally retired.
Really?
Yep.
It's only me.
Prediction number 9, Splinter Cell 2018. If they decided not to, shove this off or at least announce that it's coming soon, biggest fucking mistake Ubisoft could do. Splinter Cell 2018, especially since the Metal Gear Solid franchise is kind of in limbo right now, it's the last bastion. We need Sam Fisher. And we need Michael Ironside to Sam Fisher again. His Blacklist was fucking horrible without him.
Next, we have Kingdom Hearts 3. I love Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts is probably my favorite game of all time. I never get sick of it. So I'm really hoping that Square Enix will come out with Kingdom Hearts 3 and give us a release date. But not only a release date, but I want to see some of the characters that are going to be in it. Specifically Disney characters. So I'm really hoping that they will really come out in full force and just blow us away with what they have to say with Kingdom Hearts 3. I know it's wishful thinking, but this is what I want to see more of.
The next game is Resident Evil 2 Remake. As usual, I also have been a big Resident Evil fan for the past decade or so. I played the first, loved it. Second, loved it. Third, I was in love. It was a great video game series, and I want to see what happens when Capcom re-envisions what Resident Evil 2 looks like today. They have the technology, they have a new engine with the Resident Evil engine. I believe that Resident Evil 7 looked and played very, very well, and I believe that they could do something with the RE engine that could be rather spectacular. I hope they mirror what happened in the original Resident Evil 1 remake, where everything was very much perfect. 70% of the game utilized some of the core scenarios that the first game had, but they had more new elements added into the game with the rest. And I believe that what is interesting is, will they build on lore, considering that a lot of things in the Resident Evil timeline have happened since Resident Evil 2? Will they have that forethought to, set up for possibly Resident Evil 3 Nemesis? You never know at this rate, and I hope that this is what the future holds for Capcom.
Another game I'm looking forward to is The Last of Us 2, the most anticipated sequel to a video game in forever, I could feel for myself. I've been waiting on this since the end of Last of Us because of how great that game is. I'm hoping Sony steps up their game for this one, specifically Naughty Dog steps up their game big time for the sequel.
Another game I would love to hear about is Fortnite, and yeah, I know, Fortnite is the biggest game out right now, but I can't wait to see what they have in store for this game.
The Splinter Cell game has just completely rumored right now, but Walmart Canada did accidentally leak that.
My number 8 prediction here is sort of a two-parter. Fable 4 by the Playground Studios, the developers of the Forza Horizon series. They recently have announced they were working on an Untitled RPG. They started a second team within their studios. Come on, it's going to be Fable 4. I'm interested to see if they're going to do a Fable 4 because they've done really well with very fast turnover for the Forza Horizon series, with them being relatively great. Every game in the Horizon series has been pretty well made, pretty fun. It's kind of taken the spirit of Gran Turismo while the series was kind of waiting to build something and took it into an open world. It was fun. It's a lot of fun, and Horizon 4 is almost a fucking given for this year. So that's not the second part I'm going to talk about. Second part for his predictions, this is basically just the Xbox predictions right now. We're going to see new games in both the Banjo and Conquer series by sort of second-party devs. Maybe a couple different companies come in to make those games. But I do think those are going to get announced.
I also think that Microsoft is going to do something that's going to piss a lot of other people off. It'll make Xbox people happy, but it's going to piss everybody else off. And I believe that they're going to put a whole bunch of money and do an exclusive, a timed exclusive at least, of Final Fantasy VII for the remake. I think that makes sense. I think Sony's riding high and doesn't need to invest that much money into the remake. I think that Microsoft might foot the bill to just kind of get their hands on it. Now, That's an insane prediction, but it's one I'm willing to make, and I think that would make sense, and that would probably be a good move on Microsoft's part to kind of secure that. So that's going to be my two of my insane predictions for Microsoft. I don't have as many insane predictions for anybody else.
Next on the list, we have Metroid Prime 4. I fucking love Metroid Prime. I actually bought the Wii solely for the purpose of buying the Metroid Prime trilogy. Worth every penny, by the way. But last year at E3, they decided it would be a good idea just to flash the logo of Metroid Prime 4, which, I'm going to admit, got me excited, but also disappointed me, because I was hoping it was going to be more than just a glorified GIF of the Metroid Prime 4 title. So I'm really hoping that Nintendo will come out full force and really show Metroid Prime 4 some love at E3.
Another game I'm looking forward to hear more about is the supposed Cyberpunk 2077 that's supposed to be announced a bit more at this E3. I am excited about this game. I enjoyed the original. I am hoping this does not disappoint.
Fallout 76 has been confirmed. Definitely looking forward to see more of that. Love Fallout. Love multiplayer games. This could be the best of both worlds. It could mess up.
The games I wish were at this E3 would definitely be Life is Strange 2. Yes, this game is cringy as hell, but I really enjoyed the storyline, and I think it would be interesting to see what plots and new characters they could bring to the table.
Alright, and my 7th prediction here is going to be Division 2, coming March 2019 with a beta sometime in August or September. I think that's a safe bet. Division 1 came out around February or March, I believe. It'll be on screen right now. I think that it's really just one of those games that fits around the March cycle, especially with how padded this year is. You've got so many games coming out right before fucking Red Dead. I mean, you got so many games coming out after Red Dead. I think it's a safe bet that they're going to, have people test it out soon. Obviously September is probably a good time for them because there's not much other than Spider-Man coming out around then. I think it's a great fit to kind of, get the game in a testing phase, get it in people's hands, let people see if it works well already, and go from it.
But let's move on to Nintendo. Nintendo basically prints money. Anything they do is usually good in somebody's eyes. So Nintendo's Nintendo. They're gonna continue doing good. So I think Nintendo fanboys will be super happy. Everyone else will just be happy. Smash Brothers is what I want to see. I want to see more characters and stuff. I want to see how they're gonna, if they're gonna change up the formula for Switch. I want to see the new Metroid Prime. I would love to see a new Metroid Prime. So on the Switch, that would be fantastic. Let's see it. Just show your hand, Nintendo.
Games I wish were going to be here, but they're most likely not going to show up unless these companies up and just bam, boom, show up. Just surprise us, is Elder Scrolls 6. I'm hoping to know more. I wish Bethesda would surprise us with an announcement like that as they did with Fallout 76 over the past week to build up the anticipation for their conference at E3.
Next, we have Extermination 2, or even a HD remaster of Extermination. Either one of those. The reason for this is because Extermination, you probably won't see it. You probably won't. I think Sony's forgotten about that game for a long time. But it was a super awesome game. It was fun and it was innovative. The monster designs were super, super sick. It was actually like an alien life form. Think about The Thing. If you've ever watched the movie The Thing with Kurt Russell and Keith David, that movie's monster. But there's tons of them, and they're a little bit bigger than microscopic. They're about like the size of slugs. You have Extermination. This game was innovative simply because it was one of the first games I recall playing that allowed you to customize your rifle from the butt all the way to the tip of the barrel. It was super, super cool. You had like different laser sights and different scopes, different magazines. You had different front mounts, so you could have a grip. There was a grenade launcher. There was a flamethrower and a shotgun, and I believe there was also a homing rocket launcher. it was super, super cool and fun to play. So I would love even an HD remaster or Extermination 2, but I doubt it'll happen. There's probably like a 0.5% chance of that happening, but I would absolutely adore that.
All right, sort of another Microsoft prediction here. Prediction number 6 is going to be the Halo 6 beta for July 2018. Halo 5 had a really fantastic beta, and it came out not soon after the launch, like not too far out after the launch of Master Chief Collection. I think it would make sense for them to probably July have a beta, maybe launch it sometime in the middle of next year, kind of before E3 or maybe right after. And then another one, which would be sort of a more immediate thing for the same kind of time, would be announcing a Battle Royale mode for Halo 5. The Warzone mode could fit it. You could do ODST dropships dropping in, everybody fighting like that. It would make sense if they're going to do any Battle Royale. I know there's a rumor that Gears of War was supposed to get a Battle Royale mode. That doesn't fit as much, I think. Halo is a very good fit for something like that, and they already have the Warzone archetype to fit it around. I don't see why they wouldn't, because Halo is a big franchise. Halo is a massive shooter. And you've got Call of Duty coming in with a Battle Royale mode. You've got two of the biggest games in the world right now having a Battle Royale mode. It makes sense for Microsoft to say, hey, we have Halo 5. We have this great sandbox. Halo 5 has some of the best gunplay in the fucking series. It makes sense for them to go in and say, hey, let's take this concept here, wrap it around this core game that already is really great, already has great gameplay, already has great shooting, everything, and tie it into a game. Right? It makes sense.
Next, we have Anthem. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not excited per se to see this, simply because I have my reservations about EA. I think people are quick to forget the crimes committed against them by EA. I'm more patiently awaiting Anthem's reveal, or more things to be said about Anthem, to see if my worry or my reservations are correct. So when it comes to Anthem, I'm not excited for it, but I'm just hoping if they talk about it, it's not going to be the same loot box bullshit or anything like that, because honestly, the game does look like it could be some fun based on what we've seen, but I've been burned by EA enough to know not to trust them.
Alright, next up is Splinter Cell Apocalypse. This has been rumored to be leaked by the Walmart retailers. It's been a long time since we've seen Sam Fisher in action. I'm talking about like just a single player Splinter Cell experience since Blacklist. We've seen Sam recently in Ghost Recon Wildlands in a mission that he was featured in, and he made a reference to Solid Snake. I think it's time for the stealth genre to come back in the midst of Sam Fisher making these statements that he's the only one left. I think a cool idea would be just to have them go full blown and try to introduce elements, put back spies versus mercenaries, put back in the missions, because the missions in Blacklist were really fun, and I think they also need, the dialogue back from Conviction, because it's really fun to see Sam fuck around and see all the goddamn fucking soldiers just say stupid, ridiculous shit. It was so fun. That game was so unique to me, and I cannot wait until they make this new Splinter Cell happen. I just hope that it's really good and that Ubisoft doesn't drop the ball on quality, because they tend to do that a lot sometimes. I have a love-hate relationship with Ubisoft, so I hope they manage to at least mold a decent stealth game in the process.
Sony. Now, I'm looking forward to a couple games for Sony. Last year, I mostly only played the exclusives and some VR games. And so I'm going to kind of, I don't know what's going on with VR this year, but I'm going to focus on the exclusives for this year. And I want to see Bloodborne 2. I played a little bit of Bloodborne 1. I really liked it. I love, all the Dark Souls games. Show us Bloodborne 2. I just get the feeling it's not going to excite me that much when I finally see it. I'm going to be happy it's there, but I'm not sure how much they're going to iterate on the formula. But Bloodborne 2 is going to be there. Death Stranding is going to be there. I just want to see some gameplay, please. The cinematics have been batshit insane, and I just want to see some gameplay. Do it. So then there's going to be Last of Us 2. I believe they're going to show us some survival open world elements, because with a zombie game or a zombie-like game, you're going to... That's the way that they normally go. So I think that's going to happen. That's going to be the open world game for Sony. I believe that Sony is going to push out their own battle royale, and that will be SOCOM. Now, Sony, I fear for Sony this year, because they're kind of on the back end, and everyone, all these other companies are fielding battle royale games, if they put SOCOM up front as a battle royale and push that hard, it's going to have a backlash, because I think after the third or fourth company that comes out with a battle royale game, people in the audience are just not going to be excited anymore. It's going to be a shit show.
But another game I'm looking for, wish that was being announced, is the next line in the Pokemon series. As much as I love what Nintendo's going to be doing at this upcoming conference with the new Smash Bros. And Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, I wish we could see the next gen. We have no confirmation to my knowledge at this point if they are going to showcase any of that. I wish they do. I wish they were.
Hitman 2, which I'm sure would definitely be there. That, I think, probably is going to have no more episodic releases, I don't think. I really don't think they're going to do that anymore. I think they learned from their lesson with that.
Alright, prediction number 5 for the Bethesda conference here. Doom 2 in production. I don't think they'll show a trailer. I don't think the game is necessarily that far ahead they're going to show a trailer. It's only been about 2 years, but I do think they will announce, hey, we're making Doom 2. It would be stupid for them not to. Doom 2 is one of those games that Doom, the 2016 remake, is fantastic. It's impressive. It's just constantly fun, and it never breaks that pace. Doom 2 is almost a fucking given at this point.
Next, we have Rage 2. The first Rage was pretty awesome. I'm not going to lie. People will complain about the last 3 hours or so, but it had some pretty good co-op missions. The, Legends of the Wasteland. That was a lot of fun. Me and my friend just went through that. Tons of fun. And Rage had some really, really cool ideas going on. They had things like the mutant, Bash TV, which was basically you just going on TV and just killing mutants. And I'm hoping that they will bring all that stuff back, but really have a better game, like a better main campaign, because like I said, the last hours of Rage really lacked. So I'm hoping if they come out with Rage 2, they're really gonna prove to me that they're capable of doing something awesome with this IP.
I saw in one of the leaks, supposedly they are going to be commissioning Bluepoint to do Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, the remake, by that said team, and I'm telling you right now, that would be fucking incredible. I love Metal Gear Solid 3. The question is, will they be implementing elements from Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence? Who knows? I just hope that project happens. Bluepoint did say that the next project they will be working on is quite monumental. It could be something else. It's just a rumor. However, Konami is in a bit of a slump. They are not really well liked, well favored, and well respected within the gaming population for very valid reasons, for very justifiable reasons with the bad blood that happened between them and Kojima. They need to focus on making a comeback in the gaming scene, and what better way to make a statement than to remake one of the biggest MGS games of all time.
Bethesda is the only company outside the big three that I really care about this year. Fallout 76, I believe, is going to be focused on, of course, it's going to be like Fallout Shelter. You get to tell the NPCs what to do and kind of micromanage them a bit, and then go out and take on, quests. I think it's going to be a little bit different than the rest of the Fallout games. I don't think it's going to be a traditional Fallout game. I do think there's going to be some sort of MMO hybrid-like aspect to it, where you go out into the real world and maybe are able to team up with people on a co-op experience out in the wastelands. That sounds great to me. I think it would be not something that the Fallout fans would like, but I think it would be a successful game. So I think that's where it's going. Starfield is technically a spiritual sequel to both Elder Scrolls and Fallout. So kind of like how Pathfinder, those guys created Starfinder, where they just took the Pathfinder, races and everything and set them on an evolutionary path for a couple thousand years and then put them in space. I would love to see that, Fallout with the mutants and everything, in space, and then all the races from Elder Scrolls in space. That would sell me pretty much on its own. So I'd like to see that. I'd like to see them compete with, BioWare and create an interesting RPG experience in space. Rage 2, which actually has me interested in it since it's based on the Mad Max engine. The one thing about Rage 1 that really upset me was the fact that the vehicle combat was very bland. The weapon ideas, I liked the enemy AI, I liked everything else about Rage. I just was not too keen on this whole driving aspect of the game. So basing the whole game more around the vehicles sounds like a good idea to me. So it's going to be Rage 2 in a nutshell. So I'd like to see something interesting come out of that. I really want them to show a sequel to Doom. A tease, a hint, a trailer would be amazing. Just anything about Doom. I just want more Doom. Please, give it to me.
Another game I wish...
Alright, prediction number 4 here is going to be Capcom's probably worst kept secret, and that is Devil May Cry 5.
And I love that about it.
So many times this last year, but if it doesn't get a trailer, I will actually be fucking confused. I'll be like, what? Why is this not gonna have anything? Makes no sense. There's so much they could do with that it's such a shame to see them not, having announced anything already. But it's nice to see they're coming back to the original franchise. The remake, I've mentioned this a couple times on the podcast before, but the remake isn't bad. It's just a bad Devil May Cry game. If they didn't tie it to that, it would have been fine. But, I'm interested to see where the hell it's going to go. A whole bunch of voice actors have been teasing it. It's going to happen. And I think a trailer, either at Microsoft or Sony showing, will be fantastic to see.
Next, we have Beyond Good and Evil 2. Beyond Good and Evil 2, I watched the E3 trailer. I have to say, it was really weird. It was a CGI, pre-animated thing. And the art style is super weird. It creeped my cousin out because we were doing a stream for it. It creeped him out. And it kind of creeped me out a little bit too. And I'm hoping that they don't mess this up. Now, I'm not going to lie and say that Beyond Good and Evil was a huge part of my childhood. I played it, I enjoyed it, and I still enjoy playing it now. But it was just okay. So I'm hoping that if they go with Beyond Good and Evil 2, they're going to try to revamp and really bring up Beyond Good and Evil up to speed. So, yeah.
Siphon Filter. I want to see Siphon Filter come back because it's right now apparently dead due to the ending of Logan Shadow, and apparently John Garvin, the creative director, said that he was burnt out on Siphon Filter, hence why he's doing Days Gone. I still think he should crank out one more modern title to give to fans to make them happy.
So let's talk about everybody else who's going to be there. Devolver Digital, they're going to probably mock everybody else. They'll have a couple announcements. That's cool. I like lots of the games that Devolver puts out. Let's talk about the companies I don't really care too much about. EA, I really couldn't give two shits about. Now, Battlefield 5 has looked like maybe it's going the Bad Company route, and if they just flat out said, no, this is historically inaccurate, we don't care, it's going to be crazy, I think that would be fantastic. And I bet you that's going to be their Battle Royale game. They're going to have a Battle Royale mode. Anyways, it just makes too much sense.
I'd love to see more Death Stranding. If the leak from that is to be believed, then that game's going to be super crazy, which it's Hideo Kojima, of course it's going to be crazy. The concept, if you're unaware, it's basically always online. I really hope we see more of that. That's like one of my most look forward to games, I think. I think Sony definitely is going to have that as either their opener or their closer.
Alright, prediction number 3 is going to be another trailer at the very least for Cyberpunk 2077. It has been 5 years since the fucking trailer they showed off, which was a beautiful trailer. Don't get me wrong, that trailer is fucking amazing. It's got Bullets by Archive as it's playing in the background here. It's great. It's fantastic. It sets the tone. God, I want to see more of this fucking game. I could have taken not having Witcher 3 for a little while longer to have Cyberpunk now, but that's just my opinion. I think there's so much potential with that game that I want to see more of it, and this is the year. This is the year they need to shit or get off the pot. That's my opinion.
Now, games I wish were there, but probably won't show up. First one, of course, is going to be Unreal Tournament 4. Just imagine it, okay? The room, the lights die down. The crowd's going silent. And in the distance, you hear shotguns going off, and rocket launchers, and just the sound of just some guy running, and he comes on the screen, and he gets hit by a rocket, and he blows up, and it says monster kill, and there's an Unreal Tournament in his blood splash screen. That would be amazing. I've fallen asleep and woke up in a puddle dreaming about that. That's how much I want this. Arena shooters are dead though, so you probably won't see it. I think that Epic Games was kind of playing around with the idea, but I'm not entirely sure if you'll end up seeing it. Probably not.
The next thing is SOCOM. In the midst of big-time multiplayer shooters, there's been nothing quite like SOCOM on a third-person front. I want a tactical third-person shooter for the modern masses. That would be very, very great. I'm tired of Battle Royale. I want to see SOCOM. This is why I love Rainbow Six Siege so much. It's a first-person shooter, but it requires you to be tactical, to breach and defend. Hopefully, that really just comes back. We need more tactical shooters that requires you to think and not be a one-man army all the fucking time.
Square Enix. Now, I think that they're going to put out a lot of games that people are excited about, and I'm not too excited for just about anything they're putting out. I do want to see this Avengers game that they're working on, because I would really like to see an open world Avengers game based around the Avengers Tower, and you get to pick your superhero and go out and do the missions and approach it in different ways. That sounds fantastic. I don't know if that's what it is, but I really want to see something like that. And so just hearing that there's a game like, a game that's, Avengers game that's coming out, I really want to see something about that. So hopefully that's on its way.
Days Gone, I also definitely want to see more of that. That game looks really, really interesting.
Alright, prediction number 2 is going to be Kingdom Hearts 3 release date for probably January or February of next year. The reason I say January or February is because I think this year's a little just too crowded for Kingdom Hearts 3. Unless I want to release it close to the end of the year, which means you may as well just save it till, the first few months. I don't think it's a good fit for, right after Red Dead. Red Dead's gonna take up a lot of fucking time. I don't know. I think the first quarter, somewhere around February, would be a good, point for that.
Next game we have is Hunter the Reckoning. If you're not familiar with Hunter the Reckoning, the reason it probably won't show up, it definitely won't show up, I imagine, is because it was really, I want to say it's big, it was kind of a niche game on the Xbox and the PlayStation 2, but it was a lot of fun. It was a top-down isometric game. There are 4 or 5 different characters you could play as, each with their own abilities. There was a priest who has a crossbow and a cross sword. There was a biker who had a shotgun and an axe. Each of them had their own, I think they call them sigils or whatever. So they had unique powers. The biker had a could make his melee attacks do flame damage and stuff and increase the damage. It was super, super fun. And it's a shame that they stopped making them, because especially with like one other person or even like 3 or 4 other people, it was tons of fun. It was a hoot to play.
Next up is Mega Man X9. They already are working on Mega Man 11 from what I'm seeing here, but I really want an X9. I think that Mega Man X is due for another sequel, the more grittier version of Mega Man in the future, having more gameplay options, abilities, and patterns that you can follow, having multiple characters like Zero and Mega Man X and Axel. That would be incredible.
Now, from my end, I really don't have a whole lot of predictions. I usually like to use E3 as a way to sort of surprise me, so a lot of the time I like to go in blind. I don't like to kind of like look for leaked files or documents or anything like that. I did see a leaked file that was going around that had Bloodborne 2 again on one of the reveal lists, and I just really don't think that's going to happen. I would like to see FromSoft talk more about Shadow's Eye twice and give us a little bit more information than what they gave us last year. But all in all, I don't think Bloodborne 2 is going to be on that list. But
And then something else, I don't think we're going to get any more The Last of Us 2 at this E3. Even if we do, which like I said, I really don't think we will. If we do, it'll be like a small teaser. But if I remember correctly, when they announced the first The Last of Us, they announced it at E3, and how they announced The Last of Us 2 is to like a real small teaser clip, and then that was it. And I don't think we heard anything about it for a year or two. And then finally we got a gameplay 1 year or 2 years after that teaser trailer. I think it's going to probably play out the same way, but if we do see anything The Last of Us 2 related, it'll definitely be a small teaser just like we just got at this past E3. I mean, I definitely would like to see it though. It's The Last of Us. Love that game.
My number one prediction for E3, we will see full-on gameplay, we will see a release date for Death Stranding, and I have a little theory on that one. That's going to be sort of my ending for this one. I think Death Stranding will release January 1st, 2019. The main reason I say that is if you look at the calendar, that's Tuesday. That would be probably the best day they could launch. Mostly because, Hideo Kojima has said he wanted to release it before the events of Akira. So, the film and the manga took place in 2019. Now, obviously it didn't take place on January 1st, 2019. It has to release before 2020, because that's when a lot of the events of Akira happened in 2019. And Hideo Kojima has said multiple times that he's going to release it before the events of Akira. So, I mean, I'm just saying that would probably be the best day, I think. It would make the most sense also, because it's a Tuesday. There's not going to be a lot of other games releasing on New Year's Day. I don't think it's a safe bet to say it'll happen, but I do think it's a bet to say that that's a time that he'll probably release it in. I don't know. I do think we will get a release date this year for Death Stranding, and it will be way closer than we imagined. Because you have to think with Death Stranding also, you have to think, if we technically want to be serious here, it's been in development, since late 2015, which is 4 years. The game was worked on for a little while because it got its engine in 2016, and then, 2016, 2017, 2018. That's a good 3 years. You have to think about it like this, though. Metal Gear Solid 5, between its two parts, was roughly developed in about 4 years also, with the game being split in its first year, 2 different games, which was Ground Zeroes and Phantom Pain. So it's not unheard of for Kojima to work about 3 or 4 years on a game, so who knows? I'm excited to see what they're going to do with it. Who knows? I'm excited. I hope that it comes out January 1st. That's my prediction.
The last one is Manhunt 3. The reason I don't think they'll show it is because I think Rockstar was throwing around the idea of a stealth type game. When described, kind of sounded like Manhunt, but that was like a couple years ago. There's been nothing on it. I've heard nothing about it since. So I really don't think it'll show up, but I have hope. I hope it will, even though it probably won't. I'm really hoping that Manhunt 3 comes around simply because there's nothing like Manhunt, nothing as violent as Manhunt, I should say, and the second one was even worse. It had to be censored. The first one was banned in several countries, but the second one had to be like censored, even in America. That's how bad it was. So I'm hoping Manhunt 3 comes around, and I'm hoping that if it does come around, they don't censor shit. I want the full blood gore.
Ubisoft, the only thing they got their Tom Clancy stuff. Sam Fisher might be back in an open world game. I have no idea. I don't think that sounds like it works, but we'll see. But the only game I want to see something of is Beyond Good and Evil 2, and I want to see some gameplay because all they keep doing is dropping trailers over and over and over again.
Red Dead Redemption 2. Rockstar has a big habit of, I don't think they've ever attended E3, not that I know of. So, we all want to see some Red Dead Redemption gameplay, but I don't think E3 is going to be the place for that. I think we'll have to wait another month or so for another trailer. That's just based off Rockstar's history. And they definitely don't have a conference, so yeah, I don't think there's going to be any Red Dead Redemption stuff at all at E3, but I definitely would love it.
Dead Space 4. I want to see a Dead Space 4, but I highly doubt it. EA sucks.
I would like to see more about Fallout 76. I'm a fan of the Fallout series, and so this has gotten me interested what they're going to do with this. I really hope it is a survival RPG game kind of in the vein of Conan Exiles, and maybe has a co-op feature, because that's all I've really wanted as a Fallout fan. Is I've really wanted a Fallout title that has multiplayer in it and I can experience traversing the wasteland with friends. I think that would actually be a really cool feature for a Fallout game. I really hope it's not a Battle Royale game. I know that there's been rumors going around that it could be the next Fortnite, PUBG, things like that. I really hope that's not the case, but only time will tell.
For other companies, there's Red Dead Redemption 2, which we've already seen a ton of information on, and Borderlands 3. I want to see Borderlands 3. Other than that, I don't really have too much interest in E3 this year. So I want to see the big three all come out, and actually give it their all this year. I feel like last year nobody especially did that. So I really hope somebody does. I hope to see some surprises, some really cool looking games from developers I wasn't expecting to see this year. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, peace out.
We're going to get right into the predictions because EA, you are getting a complete 2 out of 10. I don't think you will improve. I think you will talk about sports and stupid shit, having Pele on stage again. I have no faith in EA. I think that, of course, Battlefield 5 will be the highlight, but I'm not really into Battlefield like other people, so again, it's a 2 out of 10. Ubisoft gets a solid 6 out of 10. I think they will put out gameplay presentations. I think they will put out some interesting titles, like hopefully Splinter Cell Apocalypse, but I think Ubisoft really has some certain games that don't appeal to me, like Skull and Bones. I'm not really excited for AC, for the Battleship game cut out and being repackaged as an online game at all. I'm sorry, I'm just not a big fan. Next we have Sony. I think, of course, the lack of showing first-party games will hurt them in the long run, but I think I will give them a solid 7 out of 10 because they will have a lot of gameplay presentations there. They will have Death Stranding, Ghost of Tsushima, Tsushima, it's hard to say. They will have all that present, and I want to see what happens. Last of Us Part 2, at least they will be showing something. Next we have Microsoft. I believe they will up the ante just a little bit. I believe Microsoft excels at service, but not showing high quality video games, hence the constant delay of Crackdown 3. I think the problem will be not showing enough exclusives or showing way too many third-party titles that I can easily buy on PS4 or Steam, but they will have a decent showing. I give them a 6 out of 10. Next we have Square Enix. Outside of maybe Kingdom Hearts 3 and Hitman 2. Wait, Hitman is gone to IO Interactive. I forgot. Your blunder, Square Enix. Anyway, outside of Kingdom Hearts 3 and hopefully maybe showing the Final Fantasy VII remake, but I doubt it because they keep fucking butchering that game with development issues. I believe I have no other appeal, no other hype, no other really just long-term excitement about Square Enix, because I think it's going to be a show about JRPGs and that's about it. That's all they really probably might do. I think Left Alive might be interesting. It's from the creators of Front Mission. I think also one of the Metal Gear art directors, Yoji Shinkawa, is working on that game, but outside of that, it's probably going to be just JRPGs, RPGs, and that's it. If they show me something that's interesting that might surprise me, then maybe my score will be higher, but right now I predict the Square Enix conference will be a 5 out of 10. Next up is Bethesda. Bethesda always focuses on fluff. They focus on a lot of ESO. The only reveal last year that really appealed to me was The Evil Within 2. Everything else was kind of meh. It was cool that they brought back Wolfenstein for another sequel, but apparently Wolfenstein 2 is so ridiculous that sometimes it's incomprehensible. I did like Doom. Doom is fantastic, but again, I'm not really expecting big high quality reveals. They might do another Dishonored, but if we're being realistic, the focus on the show will be tailored to Fallout 76, which was revealed a couple of days ago. I think it will be nothing but Fallout 76 for a large duration of the event, and then everything else might be pushed a little bit to the wayside. Also, I can't forget Rage 2 is also a thing, so it might be Rage 2 and Fallout 76. Bethesda needs to expand their repertoire and try to put in a lot more interesting and engrossing games into their conferences. They need to also make new IPs, because I mean, how long will you dwell on the sequels that keeps coming out from year to year to year? It will be cool if they decide to do a trilogy for Evil Within, but I'm not expecting that this year. I expect maybe DLC. That will be cool, but for now, until we actually sit down and ingest this conference, I have to give it a solid 5.5 out of 10. I think Bethesda this year is just going to be a little bit average at best. Last up is Nintendo. Nintendo definitely will be showing what Nintendo fans want. They will be showing stuff like Bayonetta 3, hopefully, probably Metroid Prime 4. That's going to be fucking awesome. And then maybe like some more fucking Smash. But outside of that, I'm not sure what else they might offer. They might throw in some surprises. They might throw in some curveballs, but realistically speaking, I believe that they will probably just show Smash, Bayonetta 3, and they will show Metroid 4, and they can call it a day from there. So I think they might play it a little bit too close to the chest. They might play it a little bit too safe, so I give them a safe number. I think it will be slightly above average at a 6 out of 10. So that is my E3 predictions. Nothing really too crazy. I tried to keep it realistic, close to having set expectations. Things can change. They might impress me to the point where I might actually give other conferences higher scores or maybe lower scores. You never know. Hopefully you enjoyed this audio clip of my E3 2018 predictions, and you take care now.
Alright, so we're just going to rate the big three for my predictions on how everyone will do, simply because I don't feel like I don't feel comfortable enough giving a score for EA or Bethesda because I don't know enough going in to really give them a score. So starting with Sony, I think they have pretty good potential. I think I'm going to give them a 6. I think that from what I've seen or what I heard kicking around, I think that they have a lot of potential. I think that if they live up to that potential, they could possibly even make getting a 7, but I'm not super mega confident, but I think they'll do pretty well. Next is Nintendo. Now, Nintendo is in a weird position because they actually do a Nintendo Direct after E3, where they drop a lot of big shit. The E3 press conference is them just mostly being entertaining, and I have to give it to them. Usually when watching E3, Nintendo is the most entertaining. So I think I'll give them a 5 at least, because I think even if they show a little bit or don't show much at all, I think it'll be entertaining in the very least. And that leaves us with Microsoft. Microsoft is probably going to be a 4. I actually have to give this a gradient though, so it's going to be 4 to about 7. Why do I think that? I think there are a lot of IPs that Microsoft could come out of left field with, things like Conquer, because they have Rare, they own Rare, so there's like possibility for like Conquer or Perfect Dark or anything like that. So if they really capitalize on the fact that they have Rare, and as well as their other IPs, and bring some back from the dead, such as Scalebound, they really have a lot of potential. Will that potential be reached? I'm not sure. So in my opinion, I'm going to go for the middle. I'm going to say there's going to be possibly a 5 as well. But I also have to say that they're also usually the most boring. Usually by the time Microsoft comes off or ends, I'm usually pretty tired. So those are my predictions.
Alright, so the last thing is E3 is starting out with the EA conference. Let me just say first off, EA, you guys really let me down this year with Battlefront 2. I'm going to predict this is going to play out as maybe, just maybe, a 5 out of 10, mainly because, well, if you just take a look at last year's EA conference, I think that just can explain itself. EA has really taken flack from its players, including me this past year especially. Next up, we have Microsoft. I'm really hoping they can surprise us this year. I'm predicting their conference is 7 out of 10. My reasoning for that is I have somewhat of a good feeling of what they're going to bring to the table this year. Next up, we have Bethesda. Oblivion is actually the first game I ever, and I mean ever, recall playing on an Xbox at just the young age of 6 years old. I believe this is the game that really got me interested in gaming, and I have a special place in my heart for it. I'm predicting that this is going to play out as an 8 out of 10. I'm extremely excited to hear the games that they have in store for us. Next up, we have Square Enix. Kingdom Hearts 3 official release date. I'm extremely excited to hear more about this beautiful game coming to our consoles that we have been waiting for years. Literally just for this game, I'm going to rate this conference to play out as a 9 out of 10. I also have a good feeling about other games that are confirmed as well. Next up, we have Ubisoft. I'm going to rate this playing out as more of a 7 out of 10 because personally, I'm not interested in the majority of the games that are confirmed. Next up, we have Sony. Straight up rating this a 9 out of 10. There are so many games and features that I'm super stoked to hear more about. Let me tell y'all, I have been waiting for The Last of Us 2 to come out for forever. Last up is Nintendo. I'm rating this conference to play out as 7 out of 10. Honestly, I don't think they can compare to last year with the releasing of the Nintendo Switch. They do have some pretty cool upcoming games, but like I said, I don't think they can up themselves after the Switch. Thank you guys for listening to the prediction of this year's E3. What are your predictions for this year?
I would like to see a little bit more gameplay footage or maybe more trailers for games like Code Vein, Mega Man 11. Anthem was something I was really looking forward to when it was announced at last year's E3, so I would definitely like to see more about that, if it's coming along well, if there's been any hiccups with development. But for the most part, I'm pretty much on the up and up when it comes to gaming news. I feel like I keep myself pretty well informed about things that I'm interested in, so there really isn't anything that like I am super looking forward to with this E3. Like I said earlier, E3 is mostly for me kind of a surprise factor. Like, I want to be surprised by something, like going into it knowing that there might be the potential of something that wasn't leaked or something that wasn't announced that is announced or shown at E3. And that's all I really have to say on it. Short and straight to the point. I didn't want to drown on too long because there really isn't a lot that I really had expectations to talk about. So I hope all you gamers out there enjoy your E3 experience. I'm going to be kicking back and relaxing and having a good time with the Infinite Ammo Syndicate, watching it live. So I hope you guys all get your friends together and have a good time, and hopefully maybe some of your predictions come to fruition, and, you know, who knows, maybe we might actually be surprised by something completely out of the blue that no one expected.
I'm going to now a rating for how I believe each conference is going to go. This rating is going to be on a scale of 5, 5 being the best, 0 being it's not going to be good. I'm going to give Microsoft the benefit of the doubt for this upcoming conference and give them a 3. I'm thinking they're going to surprise us with some games, some maybe not. Who knows? Hopefully they will shock us all with some major announcements. There are some hype building up for some of their stuff. They got possibly another Halo coming in, from what rumors I've read, Halo 6. And a lot of people are assuming it's going to be a battle royale. Sony, I think they're going to get a 4 out of this. I think they're going to upsert a lot of people. They're just going to outclass everyone. They're going to show up and just, bam, we're here, we're proud. They're possibly going to show off the PlayStation 5, which has been much rumored over the past couple of days. Actually, past couple months, from every gaming source news site I've seen. PS5 here, PS5 there, and if they showcase it, I'm no doubt Sony's just gonna upsert the rest of the competition under the rug, be like, this is what's gonna be talked about for this E3. How we announced a new gen console and you guys didn't. What I'm also expecting to come out of them is a lot of great games that are going to be announced, so that's why I'm giving them the 4 rating. It's justified. We've already know of The Last of Us 2 coming out. We also know Spyro being remastered coming out. These are Sony well, to my knowledge, the Spyro one is a Sony exclusive at the moment, and these games are going to be bomb. Up next on the rating list, Nintendo. I'm taking out the big 3 right off the bat. Nintendo, I'm going to give them a 5. I'm sure they're going to blow us away like they did last year by announcing so much out of this little event. They're called a lineup of games. They're going to announce the next Smash Bros. Series as well. Another game I'm very anticipated about, as I am a big Smash Bros. Fan since it first came out on the 64, and Nintendo has never disappointed us. The next is the little gaming companies. I'm going to start off with Bethesda. Bethesda, I think they're going to blow us away with Fallout 76, so I'm going to give them a 5. They also have Starfield that they're talking about showcasing, which, from what I've seen of that game, it looks like it's going to be an awesome game. It's going to be set in space. That is something different. Maybe, just maybe, they might pull off a surprise or two, as they are known to do, give us a little shocker in there, and that's what I'm going to believe is going to give them the 5, the Garner rate 5 out of 5. Up next is EA. I'm sure they're going to mess this up like they've done many a time, and that's why I'm going to give them a 1. They're simply not the way they used to be. I remember a time where EA used to be one of the best companies. Not many people gave them crap or anything, but times have changed with the way they're handling stuff. Everything's about the money with this company, and if you ain't making money, you ain't worth it. Examples being the Mass Effect series. They might pull a shocker of announcers here or there, but I'm not expecting much from EA. Up next on my rating list would be Activision, technically. I'm going to go with Activision here. They might not have too much to go, so that's why I'm going to give the benefit of doubt of a 3. I haven't read too much of them announcing anything coming out of this, but we never know what they might do. After them, it's going to be wait, before I go, I just remembered I forgot a specific company, and I am honestly shocked. They are sometimes forgettable to me. It is none other than the great Ubisoft. I am expecting to do some great good at this upcoming conference with the much rumored Assassin's Creed Odyssey coming up. I hope it is going to be not a disappointment. I hope it's going to be as big as Assassin's Creed Origins. They might have some other tricks up their sleeves. Who knows? I am expecting big things from them, and I will be rating them a number 5. I'm going to be expecting good things from them, so I'm going to be giving them a rating out of 4 out of 5. That is it for this, folks. I'll see you all next time.
Alright, so Electronic Arts, I'm rating a 1. I'm going to be at work the entire time, and I did that on purpose because I'm not excited for that. Microsoft, it's looking a solid 8. I think this is the year they're going to pull out all the stops and have a really interesting show. It's going to be 2 hours long. I think it's going to be good for them. Bethesda, I'm rating kind of a 5. Outside of Rage, there's nothing I really care about coming, probably. Devolver Digital is going to be fucking fun. It's going to be great. I want to see Devolvers. Square Enix, I work on this one, but I actually didn't mean to set that. I think it's going to be a 5. Middle ground. Ubisoft, I'm going to rate an 8 just for Division 2. The PC Gaming Show, I'm going to rate a 5. I really hope we see something about NVIDIA's new graphics card. So, yeah. Sony's is a 5. I'm excited for Death Stranding and Spider-Man, but the rest of them, I don't really care about Last of Us 2 very much, and Ghost of Tsushima just, eh. And Nintendo, I'm going to rate a 6. I think they're going to be interesting, but I got a weird feeling that nothing else is going to show up from them. Alright, so we're going to get to everybody's outros now. These are all pre-recorded. I've been Bane for you. You can find me on YouTube at Fuzhou, F-U-Z-H-O-U. There'll be a link in the description, right? You can find me on Twitter at Bane for you with a Y-U at the end. There's going to be a lot more content coming. I'm working on a video about a mobile clone of Destiny. That one's going to be a little while out, but yeah. And here's everybody else's. Have a good night, everybody. We will see you soon. Be excited for E3, folks.